Earlier today we saw two legends at the top of their game. Ronnie O Sullivan hit the highest break of the tournament so far to seal an emphatic 4-1 win over Neil Robertson, while reigning champion of champions John Higgins didn't drop a frame as he gave a lesson to fellow Scot Anthony McGill. It sets up a mouth-watering rematch of last year's final tonight, a best-of-11 frame match, with the winner earning a semi-final spot tomorrow night against Anthony Hamilton. So from two legends out there on the table to three legends in here in the studio. Neil Foulds, Alan McManus and Stephen Hendry. A huge buzz around the Ricoh Arena, Stephen, tonight. We cannot wait to get this one underway. Big occasion.
Incredible. I mean, you've got two legends of the game. They turned professional together about 20 years ago. They've won everything the game has got to offer. If you're a snooker fan, it doesn't get much better than this, to be honest. And
given how they've played, Alan, we're expecting a high-quality match.
Oh, for sure. They both brushed aside their respective opponents this afternoon, both in top form in different ways. Ronnie's obviously a little more flamboyant, we know that. But John's very solid. I think it's going to be 6-4, 6-5 either way, for sure.
Worthy of a final, this one, isn't it? You know, here we are in a group stage, yes, and two the giants of the game up against one another.
They seem to be meeting earlier in tournaments. They met in the English Open recently, and I think it was the last 16. You think, well, these are the two legends of the game, but that's the way it is. You know, you can't meet everyone in the final. They met in the final last year, of course. And that was a great occasion too. So it's just a great match, and you've got the suspicion that whoever gets through this might just find their way into Sunday's final, looking at the draw.
Alan, they have huge respect for one another, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I said before, you know, at the end of this afternoon session, they're not good mates. They're friendly, but they have a rivalry. But it's a quiet rivalry. You know, they respect and like each other, by the way. And they'll both be looking forward to it. Like, you know, towards the tail end of their careers, but they're still arguably the best players out there.
How impressed have you been, Stephen, with the way they've played here today?
John was you could argue it's a bit cruel to say, but slightly more workmanlike in his victory. Wasn't quite sparkling. O'Sullivan, when he gets in, just looks like clearing a table every time. I mean, it's just ridiculous how good his cue ball control is. I mean, it made Neil Robertson look, you know, decidedly second tier today. Neil had a chance to go 2-1 up, missed that chance, and sat in his chair for the next 3 frames.
We're going to see two legends in action very shortly, but two legends were upstairs in the Players' Lounge earlier having a chat. Stephen caught up with Ronnie.
I've got to ask, at the end of my career, my standards just dropped so quickly, so fast. What are you doing? How are you keeping your standards so good?
I don't really know, really. I just think I just try to enjoy it as much as I can, you know, and there's times out there where sometimes I think I'm not hungry enough, you know, because I've sort of started doing other stuff, and because I just wasn't happy just playing snooker all the time. It drove me insane, and I phoned you a couple of times and said, Stephen, I'm in bits, I'm not enjoying it. And you went, well, I was like that towards the end of my career, and I thought, I don't want to spend 10 years doing something that I don't enjoy, so I thought, right, just try and use it like a hobby. Yeah. Try and think, no matter how bad I think I'm playing, it's still not as bad as the fella down the club that can't make 30. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought, you know...
Do you like work on your game? Do you do anything like technical, or do you just play, practice?
No, I stopped about 6 years ago working technical on the game because I thought I was just over-analysing everything. Yeah. And I just thought, you know, just try and have good solid foundations, just try and, you know, keep as still you can on the shot, try and keep the cue as parallel as you can, and just trust where you're aiming. Yeah. And as soon as you start to try and steer balls in, it's like a disease. It's kind of, it gets into every part of your game. And I thought I'd rather miss by a mile but commit than sort of get a few but twitching them in, you know. Yeah.
So what's more important to you, like playing well, enjoying it, or actually winning? Do you get more enjoyment from just like going out there and buzzing? I
think buzzing's the key. I think, you know, because when you're playing well, you enjoy it no matter what, even in practice. Yeah. You know, if I'm buzzing in practice, I think, yeah, this is great, you know. And the same in matches. But I think also there's an element that if you are winning, it's still that's a nice feeling, you know. Yeah, I mean, you was a winning machine. I love to win, but I'll still, you know, if I didn't play well on one, I'd be a bit frustrated.
Do you still like say we're coming here you played today? Do you get like excited last night coming up the day before? You still get that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I lost that a bit, and I think that was part of the start of the downfall sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I've got to get nervous, you know, and even this morning I got really nervous. I was like on the phone, I got Steve Peters on speed dial. I said, Steve, what's going on? You know, and I speak to him like every other day. You know, I thought I've got another 2-3 years. I'm really going to try and see if I can get something out of my game. Last 2 years I took me off the ball, so I've made a conscious effort to try and practice a bit more and, you know, make sure I'm at home enough to do that and get a little bit of a balance and see if I can play some half-decent snooker.
Yeah, and in terms of like record, obviously through my career, Davis was all the records, and throughout my career it was great to have that target. Obviously you've taken most of mine now. There's a couple that are still there. Is that any motivation, or you just want to just win? You're not thinking about anything in the future? Or?
I think that, listen, don't get me wrong, records are great, but I mean, I find when I look at a record, I think it's just a mountain to climb, and to think of trying to win another 3 world titles to overtake you would make me want to not play ever again. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Because to win 1 world title, especially at this stage of my career, is difficult.
So you don't set any targets at the start of the season?
I set myself realistic targets. So I know you've got 18 majors, I've got 17. I'd like to try and sort of, I think I've got a chance of getting near that. The Worlds that'd be a dream, but I doubt it'll ever happen.
Yeah, you wouldn't bet against him though, would you? It'd be great, I think, Stephen, for snooker fans to listen to that and just hear the appetite and the hunger for snooker and for success that he still has.
Yeah, he seems to be just really relaxed about his whole life. I think that's what I get from it. He's as I say, he's a winner. He knows there's targets there. He's not going to not try and do it, but he's just happy with hopefully just playing well, and if he wins, he wins. And
enjoying his snooker. You know, it's great to hear him say that, isn't it?
Yeah, and first I'd like to say, as a snooker fan, it's great to see the guys like that, Stephen interviewing Ronnie, because it's a different dynamic and it's not just regular questions. It's, you know, he asks some things that he feels and Ronnie responds in a slightly different way, but 2 great champions.
Well, yeah, I mean, the 2 greatest players I've ever seen there having a chat, and then you've got Steve Davis as the next one, and John Higgins probably number 4. So the room is full of great snooker players. It's just a great occasion. I can't wait for tonight.
3 great snooker players in the room with me as well. Coming up on the other side of the break, 2 giants of the game collide. John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan share 9 world titles between them. Only one can make it through to tomorrow's semi.